Okay, to get started on this pattern, I have cut out my shorts pieces. That's 2 pieces if you're making it where the back and the front are connected to one piece. And let's see my pattern piece for that. Alright, and then I have 4 strap pieces here, and this, like I said, I'm making for a toddler. The strap pieces, I've cut them at about 16 3/4 inches, and that's because I'm going to crisscross them in the back, so you do need extra for that. They need to be a little longer than usual. Now I've got 1 piece for the back side that I cut on the fold, and you see I've added extra to it so we can put elastic in it. And then we've got 1 piece for the front, cut on fold. The first thing I'm going to do is go over to the machine and take 2 strap pieces and sew them together and turn them. Okay, I've sewn and pressed the straps, and now I'm just going to put those aside. We will need them very soon. The next thing we want to do is create a small casing for the elastic that we'll be putting in the back of the halter top. My brain is not working today. Before I do that, I'm going to go over to my other machine and I'm going to sew a tight zigzag just so it won't fray and to make it look a little better when I go to turn it. So I'm going to do that and then I'll be back. Okay, this is the back side of the halter, and I went ahead and did a tight zigzag stitch around both sides because they're going to need it anyway. I think the easier way, the way I like to do it, especially with something where you need such a small casing for the elastic, I'm going to take the elastic and with a zigzag, not a tight zigzag, I'm gonna do is stitch the elastic right to the edge and pull it a little. What I want to do first though, just so to show you how you can get those measurements. Now this is based on the measurement that I'm doing for this. The piece itself is pretty long. It's about 19 inches, and I only need it to be about 11 inches wide, so 11 or 12. You don't want it to be too snug. I had to stop for a second, y'all. Maybe I'll leave this in. I won't cut it out, but I was sitting here doing the video. My windows are right over there. Big double windows in front of my sewing machine, and the maintenance guys, the landscapers, are out here doing our yards today, and he came right up to the window to spray the bushes for weeds. Oh, shit. Okay, so what I'm going to do is cut the elastic to about 12 inches. Get my ruler right. Got me all flustered now. That was a little embarrassing. And just make sure your elastic's not, you know, crinkled. Make sure you're getting that right where you need it. So I'm going to cut just about 12 inches. And what we'll do is I'll go over to my machine and set it to a zigzag stitch, and on the wrong side I'm going to stitch this, pulling it until I get it to the end. Okay, so that I can keep my elastic in its place while I do this, I'm just going to do a quick back stitch, not very far up, maybe about 1/4 of an inch. You can see what I've got here. Now what I want to do is I'm just going to fold this over this and change my stitch to a straight stitch. And I'll be pulling it so that it looks nice and uniform. You just want to pull it like this. I'm just going to do a really quick back stitch, and then I'm going to pull it and sew it. Okay, so once you've done that stitching, that's what you end up with. Once you've installed the elastic, and it looks so much neater that way, I think, to do the case in that way. It just gives it a prettier look. Okay, the next thing we're going to do after we have put the elastic in here is we want to attach it to the top. So with the right sides together, I'm going to line up the end of the underarm hole with the top part of the back part, and then we'll just line everything up. And it may be a little uneven. For some reason mine comes out just ever so slightly longer. Well, it's not too bad, but it's okay. We're going to put a hem in it. So I don't really think it's necessary to pin this. I'm just going to go over to the machine and sew all the way down and do that same thing on this side, and then I will be back. Okay. Now you can see we've got the halter top constructed, and I think I said earlier in the video that this was for a toddler, but it's actually a 5. My niece's daughter is 5 years, well, just turned 6. So this is about a 5'6". It's obviously not a toddler size. But anyway, I've already sewn the sides together, and I went in with did a tight zigzag stitch with my machine. So now the next step is this piece up here. And we do want to put just a little elastic. We're not going to put a lot of stretch in it because it would be too much. But the way I did her top for her birthday party is I put just a little bit of elastic in here just to give it, I kind of thought it gave it a pretty look. So I'm kind of going by eye, and I want to do this about 2/3 the elastic for whatever the size of the front that you make yours is. Just to give it just a tiny bit of stretch. Not, like I said, not a whole lot. I've only said it like 10 times in the past 2 minutes. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the back part. Okay, I've finished up the neckline or the front part of the halter. Now what we need to do is place the strap. And what I'm going to do is put them both on the front first. And I didn't sew, I didn't fold over the armhole and sew it. I just did a decorative zigzag stitch. But if you like it better with it folded over, you can do that. It just always seems to give me trouble, and I don't like the look of it, but I like that raw edge with a pretty zigzag stitch, and this with the contrasting thread I thought looked good. So anyway, right at the edge, I'm going to put my strap. Let's zoom in a little. What I'm going to do is put it just a little further down, maybe a little less than 1/4 of an inch down from that line where the damn it, elastic casing is. And I'm just going to sew across there as neat as I can, because it's going to show through the front. So I'm going to do that with both of them. We have both of our straps on our halter, and you can see, yeah, they're pretty even. Yeah. Okay, so now I want to crisscross them in the back. And if you don't know where the middle is, you can fold it over and find the middle. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is, did I lose my middle? No, there it is. Is I want these to meet and cross at the middle. And this is, we're going to have to turn it wrong side out. So And just make sure that you keep them lined up, that you don't get your straps all bunched up, and then you'll have them in the wrong, they'll be all twisted. You know what I'm trying to say. God, y'all, I can't think. Look, I'm putting it on the outside. Okay, and we're going to put a little more in this part just because that's the way I like to do it, and I don't want to hold it too close to the edge. And I'm going to leave that one right there. And I'm going to come over with this one. And you can always, to make sure that you got them even, you just want to look at them and make sure, does that line up, and one's not higher than the other one. Right here on the other side. I'm going to pin this one. And I'm just going to take it over to the machine and tack each one across there. And then I will do a hem on the halter, and I'll be done with that, and we'll move on to the shorts. So there you have it. That's the halter top. You can see the back where we crisscrossed, and if you want to cross it more, you can, and just cross it where they come over to the sides. For the front here where you connected the straps, you could even put some cute little buttons or little flowers, sew them on or something. Just any way you want to decorate. And now we're going to put this aside, and I will show you how to construct the shorts. Okay, so we have two pieces for the shorts. Like I said, I like to cut them this way because for kids they're way more durable because you've only got two pieces, less seams to rip. You know, they're going to romp and play in these things. So the first thing we want to do is fold each piece over and go over to the machine and sew down the side. And you can see mine is a little off here. My cut with things like this usually is a little off. That's why I give myself a little extra play in it when I'm making the pattern. Because it's just, sometimes it's hard to tell by the pattern. But what I'll do is once I've sewn this down, I'm going to go and just cut that excess piece right there off. So I'm going to go to the machine and sew that, and then I'll come back and show you the next steps. Okay, I just sat here and had a conversation with myself and looked up and realized I didn't turn the camera on record. So these are the two pants legs that I put together. I went in with my old sewing machine and did a tight zigzag, and it spazzed out on me, and I didn't do the zigzag on the bottom of the second leg, but it's going to be fine. It's just the purpose of the video. So anyway, yes, turn one leg right side out, leave the other leg wrong side out, take the leg that you turned right side out and put it inside the other leg. And if you saw my toddler bloomer pants video, you will realize that it is the same idea. We're just not going to do the elastic casing for the leg. But this is for the benefit of those who haven't seen that video. We just want to line it up. And we're going to sew all around the crotch line once we've lined everything up. I usually don't pin this part because it's cumbersome to pin it. But you want to start at one side and keep the same seam going all the way up until you end up here, and just make sure that everything is lined up as it should be. Okay, just want to show you what I did before I go and turn this. You can see this is going to be the back and the front crotch lines. Hard to understand that now, but when I turn it, you'll see. So it's kind of like one leg is inside the other. So all we have to do is just a quick turn, and this is what we have, a little cute pair of shorts. And I sure hate to not close up my seams with that tight zigzag because it looks so much neater, and this is the kind of fabric that wants to fray. But I don't know what's wrong with that machine. I think it's about had it. it got my fabric caught up in there, and then had a time trying to get it out. So anyway, the next thing I'm going to do is, normally I would create a tight zigzag. If you have a serger and you like using a serger, more power to you. When I first started trying to really learn to sew and was really getting into it about 11, 12 years ago, I bought a brand new serger. Didn't use it a month and ended up putting it on eBay because I just didn't like it. And I don't think I ever will. I just like a good old-fashioned sewing machine. But that's probably the best way to do it if you have a serger. But if you don't, use that tight zigzag, because fabric like this will fray. So anyway, I'm going to just fold this over and create a casing and put some elastic in it. And then I'm going to make a hem for the legs, and I'll be done with the shorts. Alrighty, y'all. There's our little finished shorts. I probably went a little loose on the elastic, but it's just for the purpose of this video. And here's our cute little halter top to go with it. Okay, y'all, right quick before my camera battery dies. That is the end result of our little short set. I think it turned out really cute. Don't pay any attention to my pocketbook over there. I think you probably need to be on the safe side a couple of yards to do this outfit for the size that I made it in. And larger sizes, of course, you probably need a little more fabric than that. No really issues with this one. Only issue was my old sewing machine spazzing out. I guess it's had it, $99 sewing machine. I was lucky to have it the 6 or so years that I did. So anyway, yeah, I may have to get another cheap one so I can do those little tight zigzags, because I don't think my Viking does that. Wonderful machine though, it does everything else. So anyway, that's it. If you have any questions, just comment below or message me on YouTube. And I've said it before, sizing is up to you. The size depends on the child you're making it for, so you can't really go by my measurements. You need to measure whoever you're creating this for. So that's it, y'all. I hope you enjoyed. Peace. Bye-bye.